What up, Believing, and welcome to the start of one of our favorite seasons of the entire year. Welcome to I Love Summer. If you're new with us today, or maybe newer to our church, this might be something that's a little different for you. That's okay. I Love Summer is a tradition around here as we begin a brand new season in church, because the summer season, whether you consider it officially or unofficially, it has begun. Summer is here, and we know that from a seasonal perspective here in Memphis, that means a lot of things. That means it's about to be hot for months on end, and that's okay. We love summer. That also means that we're gonna have the sun coming up real early in the morning and going down real late in the evening, and that's okay. We love summer. But for us here at Believing, we don't just celebrate a season. For us, summer has layers of meaning to it, because those of you who've ever joined us at our physical location or know where we operate out of from day to day, the community that we serve, where we are able to record sermons like this and send them out to people all over the country, all around the world. It all happens from a little street we call summer. See, summer isn't just the season that we're in, it's the street that we're on, and it represents for us really our first calling concerning ministry, our first calling concerning serving and loving and giving and sharing and building. It's our neighborhood and our neighbors. And so we say loudly and we say proudly that I love summer. This is more than a phrase. But today we are going to kick off the summer season. If you're joining us at church online, welcome. We're so glad you're here. You're watching on YouTube, listening to the podcast. Thank you. You join in with us to this season that is way more than just a phrase, way more than just some words that we would communicate. This is truly the anthem in our heart that we love summer. Because for us, at the end of the day, work and serving and building and caring, it starts with summer. When I was in seminary, Bible college, if you will, I remember this preacher came through one of the chapel services that we had. We had a little church service, a little 1-hour church service. Actually, we had it at my Bible college. We had it every single day when I went there. It was a lot of going to church. But we had this one come through one day, and I'll never forget, because it was the first time in my life I'd ever heard anybody charge us like this. But he came in and he was preaching to a bunch of aspiring preachers and teachers, people who would lead in the church space for decades to come. And I remember him challenging us very, very directly. And he said, if the church that you lead, the church that you serve in, while you're serving there, when you're going out doing God's work, if it ever decided it would close, or maybe it would decide it would move to a different part of town, his question to us was, would the neighborhood even notice? Or would you simply just reorganize the lives of the people that maybe attended that church? But he said, would the neighborhood care? Would the neighborhood know that the church that you led, the church that you were a part of, was no longer there, was no longer making a difference, no longer serving, no longer giving? Would the neighborhood even notice? Would they even care? That question has haunted me for all of my life since I heard it. Because I am someone who loves the local church. I'm someone who the calling God has put on my life in part is to invest my life into building the local church. And so I've always thought when I served, when we led, and it's been incredibly personal to me as we have started and led Believing, that we would build a church that if we ever decided to move, if we ever had to close, that the neighborhood would know, the neighborhood would care, the neighborhood would rise up and say, we got to do something. These people love us too. We need them here. Can I tell you the truth? I believe that's what we're building. If you ever wonder what we're building as a church, maybe those of you watching at church online, ever wonder what we're trying to do, because maybe we don't follow the playbook that you expected a church to follow, that's okay. Can I tell you what we're trying to build as a church that the neighborhood needs? A church that the neighborhood wants. A church that the neighborhood knows, believes in them, and loves them. That's why we serve like we do. That's why we give like we do. That's why we share like we do. That's why we operate grocery pickups. That's why we serve our neighbors. That's why we are buying homes and creating quality, affordable housing for single mom. That's why we're serving and giving and sharing and doing all that we do to let people around us know they are loved by God and they are loved by us. I believe our church has become and is becoming necessary in our neighborhood. That people in our neighborhood wouldn't even know what the neighborhood would be like if we left. And really, this isn't rooted out of just some experience I had in seminary, but it's rooted in the scripture. The Apostle Paul makes one statement in the book of Thessalonians that I want to turn our attention to today. It's 1 Thessalonians 2, where he makes this powerful declaration to the people he's writing to, this church in Thessalonica. And he's already been there and he's already spent time with them. He's already invested in them, but he continues to invest in this church that he started. And he makes this statement in chapter 2, verse 8, that will serve as our theme on today. And really, I hope will challenge us as we look ahead to this season that is I Love Summer, but also help us to be excited about the work that God has done and is doing and will do in the season ahead. Paul says it this way in 1 Thessalonians 2:8. He says, we loved you. He's talking about his time that he spent there and those that were with him. As he said, we loved you so much that we were delighted to give you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well, because you had become so dear to us. Today, as we kick off I Love Summer, I want these words to reverberate on the inside of you, not just on their surface level, but to understand what's going on. He said, we loved you so much that it was our delight to give you not just the gospel of God, but our very lives as well. In other words, we knew you and we spent time with you and our door was open to you and we walked with you and talked with you and cried with you and cared with you because you became so dear to us. Now, a little background on Paul to understand what he's even meaning here. Paul was a traveling missionary. That's what he did. But Thessalonica was his first mission. 1 Thessalonians, this letter that we're drawing these words out of, is probably one of the oldest, if not the oldest, writing in the New Testament. Certainly it's the first writing of Paul, because he's writing back to the very first place he went to go share Jesus with a group of people. But he didn't just share Jesus with them. He didn't just teach them or tell them Bible stories, if you will. Didn't just talk to them about the wonders of their Savior, although he did that. He loved them. And so he tells them, man, we gave you everything that we could. We held nothing back. We loved you so much that we didn't just give you the gospel of God. We gave you our lives too. We didn't just preach sermons to you. We gave you our lives. We didn't just teach you and correct you and have theological conversations. We gave you our lives too because you became so dear to us. Paul demonstrated what love really is to them, but he also defines what love really is for us. And today, as we begin I Love Summer, as we begin a new season and another season, declaring our love and living out that love to our neighbors and in our neighborhood, can I tell you, I think it's so important that we personalize and contextualize this call to love. Otherwise, we'll be misguided and misunderstood. Otherwise, we'll make love to be what we think love is, because our society loves to talk about love in its own perspective, in its own definition, in its own way. And we do this sometimes even as people of faith. But I want us, before we get into what we are doing, before we get into where we are going, before we get into opportunities that we have to walk this thing out, I want us to understand what it is we're even walking out. So if you're taking notes today, would you write this down in those notes? When I speak of love, I need you to know that love is not a desire. It is a decision. Love is not a desire. It is a decision. Whenever I perform a wedding, somebody invites me and I am able to lead a ceremony where a man and a woman become one in the eyes of God, in the eyes of the state, in the eyes of their friends, family, loved ones. This is a statement I always come back to because it's so true. But it is honestly maybe the opposite, or certainly a countering and conflicting perspective to the common refrain that we have concerning love. That love is not a desire. It is a decision. Most of us believe that love is just this feeling. It's this emotion that comes over us, and it comes and it goes. I love you until I don't. I love you as long as you do for me what I wanted you to do for me. I love you as long as it's beneficial to me to love you. It's based on these external realities that are out of our control. And maybe I'll feel love one day because I just feel like loving you. And maybe I won't feel love another day because I just don't feel like loving you. But please understand, that's not love. True love is a decision. Oh, it's in these wedding ceremonies where a minister like myself would often say these types of words that, well, you're going to love him, you're going to love her for better or for worse. The truth is, most people's definition of love looks like I'm going to love you as long as things are good enough for me to continue loving you. But maybe we will have some differences and we'll call them irreconcilable. Maybe we'll have a season where life just gets too hard and this wasn't what I expected. So I'm going to stop my love. Maybe that's not love. Love is not a desire. It is not an emotion. It is not a feeling. It is a decision. I don't love because I feel like loving. I love because I have decided to love. I have made a decision that I will love you. And I ain't changing my mind. That is love. And that kind of love is the love that the church should be known for. I mean, we think about the love of God. God so loved the world. In other words, God so decided he would love the whole world that he gave. The church should be known for, the church should demonstrate this kind of love. The kind of love that says, I have decided to love you because our God has decided to love us. So it's not about you thinking like I think and processing things the way I process and believing like I believe or behaving like I behave or voting like I vote or wanting like I want. It's not about any of those things. It's not about whether you become more lovable or less lovable. I've decided to love you. This should be the posture of the church. I've decided to love you, and there's nothing you can do about it to change that. There's no way that you can act. There's no thing that you can say, no thing that you can do that would stop me from loving you. That should be the posture of the church. A church that says we love our city. We love our community. We love our neighbors. It's not a desire. It's a decision. Paul makes this really powerful statement as he's articulating these words to the church at Thessalonica. He makes this really powerful statement within what we have read that I do not want you to miss. He said, we loved you so much that it was our delight to give you not only the gospel of God, but our lives as well. Giving them the gospel was the most important thing that Paul could give them. Giving them the good news of Jesus, the good news of who he is, what he has done, that salvation is available to all people. There was nothing more important, nothing more significant that they could give. But it wasn't the only thing they could give. Nor did it cost them the most. See, the good news of the gospel cost Jesus everything, but it cost you nothing. The good news of the gospel cost Jesus everything. It cost me nothing. You say, I don't know about that. Freely you have received, so freely you give. You say, well, the gospel cost me everything. No, it cost Jesus everything. It is the free gift of God, not by works, so that you nor I can boast about it. You received it freely, so you can give it freely. But too often as people of faith, we're content to give people Jesus and leave it at that. And maybe it's because we don't love them like that. Maybe we're content to give people the good news of Jesus. We'll offer them the gospel. Here's the hope found in Jesus. I hope you pick it up and take it. But don't be inconveniencing me. Don't be stepping into my space any more than I want you to. In your notes today, I'd love you to write down this thought. That loving people enough to give them Jesus is powerful. But loving people enough to give them yourself is personal. When we start talking about I love summer, yes, I'm talking about loving people enough to give them Jesus, because every person needs Jesus. I ain't gonna save you. Your friends ain't gonna save you. Your generosity and benevolence ain't gonna save nobody. Your concern, your involvement, your care, your niceties ain't gonna save nobody. We must give them Jesus, but we must also love the people near us enough that it becomes personal. How far will you go to love others? To the extent of your desire or from the depth of your decision? Will you love people as long as it's convenient for you? Will you love people as long as it fits in your schedule? Will you love people as long as it doesn't cost you too much time, too much energy, too much money, too much effort, too much care, too many folk? How? Is it to the extent of your desire? Or is it to the depth of your decision? Because we as a church, we as people, we've decided to love. We've decided to love all people. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes it's really hard. Listen, I don't say this to you as somebody that gets it right all the time. I don't know if you are familiar with the phrase that psychologists and sociologists and counselors might use, but the idea of compassion fatigue. It's a real thing. And sometimes I be compassion fatigued. I found it in myself. I'm thankful sometimes for language that I can put around what I feel, but sometimes my phone rings so much and we get so many contacts, and 99 out of 100 of them are people wanting something, needing something, asking for something. And sometimes I have to check myself so I don't wreck myself. And sometimes I do be a little shorter than I should be because I'm tired. But what I have to come back to is a decision to love. I don't love because I feel like it, because sometimes I don't feel like it, but I decided to love. I choose not just to give the gospel of God, but our lives as well. And our prayer for you today, my prayer for you today, is that you would be someone that doesn't just say, I love through the words of your mouth. It's not something you simply dictate with your language, but it is something you live out in demonstration. I love you. See, you only get to that place when it's personal. The truth is, for Paul, the people of Thessalonica had become personal. His friends, his neighbors, the people who would come over to his house, the people who took care of him, the people he took, it was personal. And love moves to that primary level of decision. Love moves to that level when it's personal. My prayer for you this summer, my prayer for you this season is that it would be personal. That you would say, we loved you so much that we could not stop just giving you the gospel of God. We had to give you our whole life as well because you became so dear to us. It got personal to me. You know, the gospel is free, but ministry is expensive. And Paul knew this and bore this out. But what he also said to that reality is, yeah, I know it cost a lot, but pass me the check. I'll cover it. Why did he do this? Well, because love is not a desire, it's a decision. But also, love is not a declaration. It's a demonstration. Love is not a declaration. It is not something you say, something you share in these soft and simple ways. It is a demonstration. I've always found it a little strange that people, when they start dating somebody, the thing that some people are so nervous about as the relationship might progress is finding themselves in a spot where they have to say, either by initiation or say in reciprocation, that they love another person. Have you told them that you love them yet? No, I'm so nervous. But yet, there's all sorts of other stuff they may have done. But they ain't going to say that they love. Why? Why do we act so guarded with our words, but yet we're going to spend all of our time, give all of our thoughts, our energy, our affection, physically, emotionally. We give this to another person, but we won't say that we love them. It's so weird because talk is cheap. I mean, if all I do to declare that I love somebody is say that I love, and I don't demonstrate love, I don't love them. If all I do is declare it and don't demonstrate it, I don't love them. But yet we get so nervous about it when it concerns a dating relationship. But yet we're very quick to declare our love, especially as people of faith. When it concerns the people around us, we'll declare it, but we won't demonstrate it. And we think, we really believe that when we declare it, if we declare it loud enough, big enough font, that then people will believe it. You know, I love the television show, The Office. It's been off the air for a while. But The Office holds up. And there are certain words, there are certain scenarios that whenever I see them or they come across, like I instantly think of a moment in The Office. And every time I think of the word declaring or a declaration, I do not think about John Hancock and Benjamin Franklin and the Declaration of Independence. I think about Michael Scott in The Office. There's this episode of The Office where Michael Scott, who's the office manager, is in a pile of trouble financially. And he discovers that he can declare bankruptcy. And that declaring bankruptcy, at least in his mind, will wash away all of his financial problems once and for all. And when he discovers this, he decides that it's time to act on this. So he's at the office and he walks out of his little personal private office into the main open office area. And he walks out the door and he asks for everybody's attention. He says, "Can I get your attention, office people?" And then he says with all the force and all the vigor that he has, he says, "I declare bankruptcy." Whew. He feels this great relief because he has now, in his mind, declared bankruptcy. And I can only think about the words of Oscar, who's watching this, who's like the financial guy, one of the financial guys in the office who's shaking his head. He's like, this is not how this works. You know, I think the way Michael Scott walked out of his office is the way a lot of people of faith, the way a lot of churches maybe even, declare their love for their city, declare their love for people, declare their love for their neighborhood. They walk out with a lot of force and they say, we love you. We love our city. Although our physical address does not reside in the city that we say that we love, but we love our city. We love our neighborhood. We won't live in the neighborhood that our church facility is located in, but we love it. We care. We love. We'll put it on t-shirts. We'll put it on billboards. We will say that we love. And we think we've done something because we've declared it. But love is not a declaration. It's a demonstration. Love is best seen when it's felt. Love is best received when love is offered to another. See, what our city needs, what our neighborhoods need, what our neighbors need is not another declaration of love, but people who will actually love them. See, we're quick to declare our love, but will we actually do anything? We're quick to say, oh, we love you. We love these people. We love our city. We love our neighbors. We love people who are, we love. Okay, will you do anything? Or will you simply stop by saying it because saying it was convenient for you, but doing something will cost you something? Hear me today. If you say you love, but you don't show you love, you're not loving, you're lying. You are saying something you're not willing to do. And let me bring it to you today, even as we start this season. Because as we say collectively that I love summer, and as people take t-shirts and they wear them, as people post graphics on their social, as they do all this stuff, it's a wonderful thing to say. But if all we do is declare our love and do not demonstrate our love, we are lying. See, talk is cheap. Today, I believe you earn the right to speak. You earn the right to be heard, not by speaking well, but by doing well. I mean, what if you got invited to talk about your faith, got invited to share with someone why it was that you served like you served, why it was that you gave like you gave, why you gave up a Saturday, why you out there sweating for them, why you out there caring, why you sacrificed financially to make something possible for someone else, why you did that? What if instead of forcing your way in with clever language, the proof was in the action? What if that's the way Jesus did it? Because that is how he typically did it. You know that, right? It was miracles before messages. It was seeing a need and meeting a need before the sermon about your greater need. But we often have these things inverted. I'll tell you, and then maybe once a year at Christmas, we shall be generous. Maybe. Love doesn't just need to be declared. It needs to be demonstrated. What if demonstrating love was the way forward? This summer, what I want for us is to love summer like we never have before, by deciding to demonstrate love like we never have before. That's my charge to you today. Not just to inform you collectively on what it is we're doing, because you can read that. It's available on our website. If you're ever with us in person in any capacity, we have these cards that outline everything going on with I Love Summer. Again, it's all on our website at believing.church. It's all printed out here, all the different opportunities with series and serving and fun and all this kind. It's all here. You can read. My charge to you is that you would be someone who demonstrates love. Not just declaring it, demonstrating it. Not just saying that you love, showing that you love. Not just offering your communication, but letting something come from deep within the way you structure, the way you schedule, the way you sacrifice, the way you serve. Let's decide now what we're going to do, because we say, I love summer. And so if you're taking notes today, would you write a few things down today? Maybe even sitting at your house or watching this with friends or on the phone while you travel, wherever you may be. Would you just say this as you write this down? Say, I will celebrate this summer. I will celebrate this summer. Can I tell you, if you're not celebrating summer, you are doing summer wrong. You just are. If summer is not a season and summer is not a place for you to celebrate, you are doing summer wrong. Summer is a season of celebration. Summer is the official season of the cookout. Can I get an amen? It's the official season of get some folks over at the house, get in the backyard, get on the little patio at the apartment, man, and put something on the grill and cook out and hang out and enjoy being with people and enjoy beautiful weather and enjoy time together. It's the season of swimming. Man, find a pool, make a pool, find a puddle and swim. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the season of sitting with friends. It's the season of the sun comes up real early in the morning. I'm an early riser. Most days of the week, I have to get up early, but I'm an early riser nonetheless. And it's in the summer when, man, sometimes even I'm getting up early and the sun is already up. And it's like, hey. It's in the summer when the sun starts not setting till 8:15, 8:30, 8:45 in the evening. Oh, it's some of my favorite times of the year. I love those evenings where the sun is setting and you can, sit on the porch or for me, maybe it's old man card, but like cutting my grass at 7:30 at night. Man, I like it. Getting a quick 9 holes of golf in before the sun sets. Going for walks, man. Or just sitting around with people enjoying. Man, it's fun. It's to be enjoyed. Summer is a season to enjoy. And you need to enjoy this season. But you also need to celebrate this street. See, summer is not just a season to be celebrated. It's a street to be celebrated. The thing about summer as a street, it's very easy to skip over. It's very easy to take advantage of, but not invest in. But for us, our declaration is, I will celebrate summer. And so we're going to celebrate our season. We're going to celebrate our street. And here's how we're going to do it. Everything I'm about to tell you about again, it's available on a card, looks just like this. It's also available on our website today at believing.church. There are opportunities to sign up for everything I'm telling you about, opportunities to learn more about what's coming, calendar opportunities. You can go back to it all summer long to see what's coming up. It's dynamic. We're going to keep it updated. So when something has passed, it'll be gone. But when the next thing is there, you're going to see it all. But we're going to celebrate this summer. You see how we're going to do it? We're going to throw a movie night. One of our favorite things to do around here is to turn our auditorium at our physical location into a literal movie theater. It's great. And we serve free popcorn, we serve free Cokes, we'll have some treats and giveaways, play a movie on the big screen, and it's a fun time. And it meets a need we've heard for so long in our neighborhood, that there are very few free, fun things for families to do in the neighborhood. You could live here, you could work here, but where's the fun stuff? And so we have worked feverishly over the last couple of years to create these free, fun ways. And movie nights are one of those. And this summer, we're throwing a movie night. Man, when it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, you can come inside and enjoy a fun, free night with your family, with your friends, as a way to celebrate summer. But not only that, this summer we're going to be hosting restaurant meetups. You know, I firmly and fundamentally believe, as someone who likes to eat, that Summer Avenue has some of the best restaurants in our city on it. I mean, some of them ain't got nothing but 2 tables in it, but it's unbelievable. Some of them portray themselves as food trucks, but it's unbelievable. And so this summer we are hosting 4 different restaurant meetups. They're Tuesday nights where we are simply indicating a restaurant on Summer Avenue that we are going to gather at and eat at. That's it. Not going to be a Bible study. Ain't nobody going to start playing their guitar and worshiping. No. We're going to gather and we're going to eat and we're going to have fun. And how great is that on a night where business is typically very slow, we're going to be able to come into local establishments and let them know they are loved. Let them know we see them. Invest in them by purchasing food from them. We're partnering with these restaurants to create the space that we need for all the people we estimate to come. But also, some of them are working with us to offer special deals to be able to make it more affordable for as many people as possible to come. But it's a way to celebrate, man, to gather with friends and eat. What says summer more than that? It's a restaurant meetup, and they're available this summer. This summer, we have a very special merch drop happening. I don't think it would be summer if we didn't drop some merch in the middle of the summer. And so this summer, you're going to have to stay ready. Stay ready. But we got a merch drop coming that, it's about to be hitting. And it's a way for us to celebrate this. Man, who doesn't like fresh gear? But also, who don't like fresh gear that celebrates our church and celebrates our community and celebrates the street we're on? Not only that, we're throwing a party this summer. Some of you will remember a few months ago, we threw a block party at an abandoned building, called it an Easter party. And it was a huge success. Almost 800 people came out and joined us at this block party of just fun. We had inflatables, face painting, eating food, donuts, tacos. It was a morning that our community needs. Well, this summer, we're going to create a summer party as well. A free, fun community party for people to come and hang out at, to enjoy one another, to connect with neighbors they may not have even known were neighbors. And you'll see details upcoming on that, but what better way to spend a Friday night this summer than at a party? Come on, if you ain't going to a party this summer, you're doing summer wrong. Not only that, every Sunday there will be surprises, particularly in person. Those of you that join us online, we're going to have surprises online too. But every Sunday there are surprises in person. Like today at our services, we have our I Love Summer t-shirts. We have those available for those of you worshiping with us online. You can click right now at Church Online in the chat there and get your t-shirt sent to you this week. We've got those available for people in person. We'll have them available till we run out. But here's the thing. Every Sunday there'll be a surprise. You join us in person, you never know. We might have lemonade, might have coffee and donuts, might have this merch dropping, might have ice cream. You never know what you might find. But there will be surprise. Why? Because this is a season to celebrate. Speaking of celebration, we're going to end this summer with what we're calling the I Love Summer celebration. On July the 31st, a Wednesday night, we're going to turn up at the church house. And we're going to have free food, and we're going to have games, and we're going to have a time of worship, and a time of testimonies, and a little moment of vision for what is to come. And we are going to celebrate all that God has done in this season in people, with people, and through people. Through our I Love Summer Sale, it's going to be a time of celebrating. Now, some of you may not see how spiritual this really is. But please understand, if we don't celebrate summer, who's going to celebrate summer? You know, I fundamentally believe this is how you change a city. I believe this is how you change a neighborhood, how you revive streets that other people have said can't be revived, how you breathe life into places that people have said there's nothing good that can come out of that anymore. How do? You celebrate it, and you bring the celebration there. So I will celebrate this summer. But that's just the beginning. Also, write this down in those notes. Would you declare your love and say, I will serve this summer? You know, the interesting thing about summer as a season is summers are typically selfish. Summer is typically a season where people turn inwardly. They focus on themselves. Some people will talk about trips they're taking, vacations they're taking. They'll talk about, I just need to take some time off. I just need to disconnect. I just need to not do as much. It's the summer. I need to slow down. The crazy thing is this thought has woven its way into the way churches even operate. Sometimes the thinking of church is to stop for the summer. I bumped into this friend of mine the other day who he lives in our city. He's very involved in a church that I know, a church that I love, a church that I love his pastor. And he was just trying to make small talk with me. He said, hey man, what you guys got going on this summer? And before I could even respond, it was almost like he asked the question, but he really didn't want an answer from me. He just wanted to start talking. So I didn't even get a chance to say anything. He said, man, what y'all got going on this summer? He said, because at my church, man, they've already started shutting everything down for the summer. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, we don't do nothing. He said, we barely have Sunday services until school gets back in the fall. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, no places to serve, no Bible study, no nothing. I was like, wow. You know, I get it, but that's also not us. I believe that summer is possibly the best season to turn up in. That it is the best season to serve in. He was telling me all this, and all I could think about, because we were in the process of getting ready to roll out I Love Summer, is like, not us. See, we don't stop serving because it's summer. I know some people may be gone this summer for a week or 2 weeks. That's great. Lord bless you and keep you. We're going to be serving. I know some people may just think, oh, I gotta cool down for a little bit. You cool down for just a second, but we don't stop serving because it's summer. There are needs in the summer. There are opportunities to make a difference in the summer. There are ways that we can be a blessing that we can't be at other times of year. We don't stop serving because it's summer, and we won't stop serving because it's summer. Because we don't just speak of a season, we speak of a street. A street that needs people who care for it, needs people that love it, needs people that will serve. So here's how we're going to serve this summer. We're going to serve through our grocery pickups. This summer, in June and July, we have 3 different opportunities for grocery pickups. We are increasing our volume, if you will, to serve more people better. Why are we doing this? Well, because truthfully, it is harder for many families to make it through the summer with food than it is other times of the year. Because while school may educate our children, for some families, they really rely on it to feed their children as well too. And so now you are taking for every child somewhere in the neighborhood, for many, between 5 and 15 meals per child per week that now families are having to try to figure out, how am I going to feed my kids? So we believe that serving people fresh, free groceries in the summer is more important than it even is in other seasons. So we go turn up our serving. Not only that, we are launching this summer. In fact, we're launching it this Saturday. Beautiful Berkeley. We are systematically sweeping our neighborhood. Everything north of Summer, east of Graham, south of Chelsea, inside the loop. We are sweeping and working to beautify it. We are partnering with neighbors, working in their yards, people whose lawns may be overgrown or simply don't have the means or the ability to care for their lawn. We're coming in and cutting things, getting things back right. We are addressing blight. We are handling projects that overwhelm people. We are cleaning up trash, not because somebody said we need to clean it up, but because a neighborhood becomes more beautiful when the trash gets cleaned up off the street. We doing all, and it starts this Saturday. And maybe you would even join us. Maybe you would roll up them sleeves and say, I want to be a part of beautifying Berkeley. You can sign up today to do this. We're going to serve. We're going to be about it. We're going to work because we are going to not just declare that we love, but demonstrate that we love. Sunday services provide an incredible way to serve in the summer. This summer, we are expanding our teams. There are more places for more people to serve. And so whether you want to serve online or in person, with B-Kids, with hosting, with worship, with production, there are places to serve. There's not a better time to jump in and learn, jump in and begin participating, jump in and make a difference than in the summer season, getting involved in serving. There's also places to serve in all the celebrations. I know some of you hear about some of the ways that we're celebrating. You're like, that's not for me. I ain't got no kids. That's not for me. I don't even like movies. That's not for me. I don't even like to worship, and I don't even like testimonies, and I don't even like parties, and that's fine. It may not be for you. But could you open your eyes for a second and maybe realize if it's not for you, you can be for it. Maybe the movie night ain't your cup of tea, but maybe passing out cups of popcorn could be a way that you make a difference this summer. Maybe you could say, I will serve this summer. I will get a little sweaty this summer. Can I tell you, if you ain't sweating this summer, who's going to sweat for summer? Here's my charge to you. Do not let this season pass without serving. Some of you, this is the season that you're going to serve for the first time. You are going to find a place, you're going to find a way, whether on Sundays, grocery pickups, or with our beautiful Berkeley work, or whether getting involved in one of these celebrations, you are going to find a place, find a way to serve, because all you've ever done is consume. All you've ever done is receive. And this summer, things are about to change in you because you don't want to just declare your love. You want to demonstrate your love. And you're going to start serving. Some of you are going to start serving on a greater level. Some of you are going to go from being someone who serves occasionally to someone who serves regularly. It's time to step up. It's time to love, to say, I will serve this summer. And finally, this. Final declaration of love says, not only will I celebrate and will I serve, but I will grow this summer. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the same at the end of this summer. I don't want to be the same man, the same pastor, the same leader, the same father, the same husband, the same friend that I am right now. I want to grow. I got a plan in place to grow. As I do in every season, because I want to grow in every season. But I don't want to take the summer season off. The summer season's an easy one to kind of check out on and say, hey, I'm just going to kind of endure. I'm just going to kind of lay back, enjoy myself, enjoy the time, and I'll get back to growing in the fall. No. I will grow this summer. See, what I've learned about growth is that I can't control the outcomes, but I can control the inputs. And so I'm going to make sure I am putting in the right things and believing if I put in the right things, then the right things will come out. So how are we going to grow this summer? I'm going to tell you how. Because I want us to grow personally and I want us to grow collectively. I believe the church can advance in the summer. I believe people will be saved this summer. I believe that people who are far from God will find God this summer. I believe that the church will increase this summer. But it's going to take us being committed to grow. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it through Sunday services. Starting this coming Sunday, is right here on today. Like, we're going to begin a brand new series on the Psalms called That Reminds Me of a Psalm. And all throughout June and July, we're going to study the book of Psalms and lean into these various songs written by David and others who poured their heart out to God, some of them in great praise, and we're going to be encouraged. But some of them also crying out, and we're going to be able to relate and identify when they were at their low, how they found God there. Can I tell you, I believe you can grow this summer through those special moments. You can grow this summer because summer is such an easy invite. It's such, come to church with me, man. We got these t-shirts. You want these t-shirts? Come to church with me, man. I think we got a few left. We want to get you up before we run out. It's an easy invite. You know how else you can grow? Through prayer nights. This summer we have, as we take everything we do and turn it on its head, on the first Wednesday night of June and the first Wednesday night of July, we're hosting a prayer night. It's a time of corporate collective prayer where you'll be guided individually. We will pray for one another corporately, and we'll also receive communion together. These are going to be powerful moments of prayer, and I encourage you to invest in your own spiritual growth by being a part of prayer this summer. Make it a priority to say, man, I'm going to be at these prayer nights, June 5th, July 3rd. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to pray. Also this summer, another way to grow, we're hosting our home buying class. That's right. It's a one Saturday morning special. We'll teach you everything you need to know about buying a home. If you're thinking about buying a home, wanting to buy a home, you thought that buying a home was an impossibility for you, we want to show you how. We want to connect you with funding available for free, grant money in the city that could help you get a home. We want to connect you with people who can help with your credit, people who can show you the process, people who can connect you with the financing you would need to have a home of your own. It is possible. You can grow. You can learn everything you need for that this summer. You know how we're going to grow? Through participating. Man, if you would show up, if you would serve, if you would connect, if you would attend, I promise you, you will grow. Now, I know what some of you are thinking as we close today. You're thinking, man, this sounds like a lot. Sounds like a whole lot going on. I know. But guess what? I love summer. I love summer. Love's demonstration only seems excessive to the ones unwilling to demonstrate love. Wasn't it Judas who thought that perfume is too expensive to put and pour out on his feet like that? Costs too much. I've had people tell us, man, y'all spend too much serving people. Y'all spend too much giving to other people. But when am I going to get my next free t-shirt? They speak out of both sides of their mouth. It only seems excessive if it's not rooted in the decision you made to love. See, this is our church. We here for good. To be a blessing, to serve, to love. And the truth is, for you personally, your summer needs all of this. This season of your life needs all of this. This season of your life needs the community you can build this summer right here. You don't even see it yet, but some of you are going to protect yourself this fall through the community you build this summer. Some of you are going to build habits in this season that are going to strengthen you enough to serve, to give, to share, to lead like you don't even see imaginable right now. But it's going to start in the summer. Your summer needs this. This season needs this. But not only that, write it down. Your summer needs all this. Capital S. This street, your summer, it needs all this. God is doing some incredible things in our community. I have people that don't live in this community that come to this community, come to our facility, drive in, and they say, man, something good is happening here. It is different. It is different. It is different, and it is. And it needs all this. It needs us celebrating, and it needs us serving. It needs us sharing. It needs us giving. It needs us inviting. It needs us bringing. It needs us building. So what can you do? Jump in right now. The easy thing to do on a day like today, after hearing all this, is to be like, you know what, I'm going to pray about this. I'm going to think about this. We'll see what happens. Don't do that. Head to believing.church today. And some of you need to make it a priority in your schedule and in your budget. I'm going to go to these restaurant meetups. I'm going to make me some friends. I'm going to find my people. You need to make it a priority right now. I'm going to serve. I ain't never served nobody, but I'm about to serve at every one of these grocery pickups. I'm about to serve with beautiful Berkeley. I'm about to find me a spot in ministry in the church where I can make a difference serving week to week on Sunday. I'm going to find me a spot. I'm going to rep this street. I'm going to rep this season hard. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to serve. I'm going to grow. Don't wait. Live this thing out. Be here for good. Don't be someone who just says you love, but lives that you love. The place God's put you in right now, that you love summer. Let's pray together. Father, I love you and I thank you. I thank you in advance for everything you're going to do this season. I thank you in advance for people who are going to be saved. I thank you in advance for growth that's going to happen. I thank you in advance for relationships that are going to be formed. I thank you in advance for change that you are bringing. And Father, I pray you would fill people today with the confidence, the hope, the faith to trust you. To trust you. To serve, to give, to share, to celebrate, to build for your honor and your glory. Help us to not be people who simply say that we love, but to live out this love every day in this season particularly, where we're not people who just say we love summer, but we demonstrate that we love summer. We love you, Jesus. Thank you. We pray all this in your precious name.